Hello everyone, this is Phenomenal here, and today I have yet another Gravity Falls X-Reader story. So I mentioned in my last video that I really wanted to do a Bill Cipher X-Reader story, and I'm holding true to that promise today, ladies and gentlemen, and guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I decided to do a story that was a little bit, I wanted to get it done before Valentine's Day, but to be fair, I got this story idea at like 11 o'clock at night, like right on February 13th. So I didn't really have a whole lot of time to do it, especially because I had class on Valentine's Day. So there wasn't a whole lot I could do. But I did tell one of my good loyal subscribers named Hannah that I would make something for her to kind of, give a gift of sorts, because I know a lot of you guys have wanted Bill Cipher in the past, and I know that she's a huge Bill Cipher fan, so it's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And I decided to have this be a human Bill Cipher X-Reader just to kind of make it easier for me to work with. And I will not lie, I kind of sort of, I wouldn't say retconned, I guess you could say I retconned a lot, but like, in this fanfiction, Bill and the Pines family are on friendly terms, and the same goes for the rest of Gravity Falls. He turned human, and he kind of was accepted into the human world. I don't really dwell on it in the story, so let's just pretend, okay? Okay. Before we get into this, I'm going to give a tiny trigger warning. It's not anything graphic. It's not anything too hardcore. But there is a slight attempted sexual assault in this story. It's not by Bill. It's just only slightly. But I wanted to add a little bit of spice to the story because I was really struggling with this for the most part. But I got this idea and I was like, okay, this could work. But I hope that all of you finally, or not finally, I hope all of you enjoy me finally making a Bill Cipher X-Reader story. Y'all can't say I don't love you, because I do. And Hannah, if you're listening to this, which I'm sure you are, I hope that you enjoy this. And so without further ado, this is a human Bill Cipher X gender neutral reader, and the title is What's Valentine's Day? So without further ado, let's get started. Your name woke up to a certain someone booping their nose lightly. They opened their eyes, not fond of the fact that they were being awoken from their sleep. Of course, their best friend Bill Cipher was crouching in front of their face, mere hairs away. "What do you want, Bill?" Your name asked, not commenting on how close he was. "I got a question for you, Sweets," he said with a bored expression coming over his face. "Sweets?" Your name sat up and rubbed their eyes. "Well, what is it?" They decided to indulge in this conversation even though they had just woken up. Despite the rude awakening, Your Name struggled with the concept of being mad at Bill for an extended period of time. He was too cute for his own good, honestly. Bill hopped up onto Your Name's bed, making Your Name bounce in the air a little bit. "I heard Wendy talking about some Valentine's Day thing. What the heck is that?" Your Name blinked at that. "You don't know what Valentine's Day is?" Bill shrugged. "I haven't been in this realm for long, Your Name. Besides, you humans have way too many holidays for me to remember." It was hard to argue that when Your Name thought about it. December was so overwhelming for Bill, and by extension them, because he was so confused by all the various traditions and holidays around that time of year. Valentine's Day is about expressing your love for others. Your Name saw the way Bill's uncovered eye widened in surprise, so they were quick to add, "But it doesn't have to be romantic love. It can be about expressing love for friends or family. Although it's mostly advertised by people to be about romantic love. You normally do all this by giving people gifts." Your Name kicked themselves in the head mentally at the fact they kept stuttering through their words. It was too early for this conversation. Luckily, almost suspiciously, Bill seemed eager to drop the conversation almost as fast as it was brought up. "Well, thanks for telling me, Your Name. You want to go get breakfast at the diner?" Your Name was about to answer verbally, but their stomachs seemed eager to answer instead by growling very loudly. Bill cackled, slapping his knee dramatically. "I'll take that as a yes." He then stood up and left for the door, but he looked back at Your Name right before leaving. A serious look was on his face that made Your Name's hands sweat. Just out of curiosity, Your Name, do you have anybody you're going to give Valentine's Day gift to? Your Name flushed at that and wiped their hands on their blanket. I was kind of just planning on giving some stuff to Stan, Ford, and Zeus. It was easy to see the glare from Bill. I don't know what I would get you, Bill. I don't even know what in this dimension would be a good gift for you. Bill's face softened up. Relax, Your Name, I'm just playing. But I could say the same for you, though. Don't worry about getting me anything, Bill. Save that energy for someone you really like, Your Name said, brushing off the idea and hiding their feelings in the process. In all honesty, Your Name really wanted to get Bill something. But making something would be hard to do, especially because Valentine's Day was tomorrow. But buying him something would serve to be even more impossible. Only a few months ago, he came into this dimension as a human and turned a new leaf. He hasn't had much time to adjust to how things were here, so Your Name didn't even know what would even serve as a good gift for him, let alone whether he would want a practical gift or a sentimental gift. But the idea of Bill giving them something made them even more uneasy than the other way around. Plus, Your Name didn't even consider the idea of what if Bill liked them back. It was not likely in their eyes. Bill noticed how Your Name's face dropped a little at their own words, but he decided for once to not blab too much. Instead, he said, "Whatever you say, Nickname, I'll meet you downstairs." Bill then left the room without waiting for a response. Your Name felt a little sad that Bill didn't argue with them about what they said, but they figured he didn't feel the same way for them. They brushed their disappointment aside and went ahead and got dressed. When they came downstairs, Your Name was puzzled to not see Bill anywhere in sight. "Bill, where are you?" they called out. No response. Right when Your Name was about to call out again, they were poked in the middle of their back. They yelped out in surprise and turned around to see a certain smug blonde smirking down at them. "Shut up, will you?" Your Name sniffed, despite Bill not even saying anything. Bill's smirk only grew at that. "It's not my fault you spaced out so much, Nickname." He flicked their forehead playfully. "Come on, let's go get some of those waffle cakes." "Pancakes, Bill," Your Name corrected. "They're almost the exact same thing, Your Name," Bill defended dramatically, making Your Name roll their eyes. So, after a good 15-minute walk that involved debating about pancakes and waffles, Bill and Your Name made it to the diner. The pair walked in and ordered their food. Your Name had favorite breakfast food, while Bill had pancakes, waffles, and a giant milkshake. When Your Name questioned why he got the milkshake, he said that having a brain freeze was amusing to him. Once the meal was over, Bill basically begged / asked for Your Name to go with him to the movie theater to see some random romantic comedy. Your Name tried to ask him why he wanted to see it, but he only said, "It's research, sweetheart." Your Name blushed as red as a rose at being called sweetheart, so much so that they dropped the topic. So they bought 2 tickets for the movie. However, Bill was also bugging them to buy a giant thing of popcorn. "I don't even know if the 2 of us can finish that when we literally just ate, Bill." "Come on, Your Name, the popcorn is one of the most important parts." "To what?" "To my research. Come on, please," Bill once again begged. Not wanting to hold the line up behind them because of their bickering with Bill, and also not being able to say no to him left Your Name no choice but to buy the popcorn. Once they got into the theater, Bill pulled Your Name into the back row, and they sat down. After the previews, Your Name started getting hungry from the aroma of popcorn next to them. Bill kept the bucket in between the 2 of them so that both of them could eat from it. However, Your Name noticed Bill had not made a move to start eating any of it yet. They were confused, but they were not about to let the money they just spent get thrown into the movie theater trash can without a fight. So Your Name put their hand in to grab a handful of popcorn, but right as they put their hand in the bucket, Bill had put his hand in. As a result, their hands ended up brushing against one another. Startled, Your Name retracted their hand and muttered an apology. Bill didn't respond to it at all, which only served to make the whole thing both more awkward and suspicious. Instead, he only took some popcorn and munched away. Your Name waited for a good 3 to 4 seconds and reached in again to grab some when Bill brushed his hand against theirs again. One time could just be an innocent mistake, but twice? The odds of that happening twice didn't make sense to Your Name. But they still muttered an apology and were about to pull their hand away. However, Bill clearly had different plans. He simply grabbed Your Name's hand and held it in his own. Your Name looked at him in surprise, but Bill was just looking straight ahead at the movie with a semi-bored expression while he rubbed circles on Your Name's hand, as though this was the most normal thing in this dimension. But if he wasn't making a big deal about this, why should they? At least that's what Your Name thought. So despite them brushing profusely, they didn't pull away. But Bill just had to speak right when the embarrassment was dying down. Do all you humans sweat so much when holding hands? He didn't even take his gaze off the movie when he asked. Sorry, Your Name apologized again, and tried to pull their hand away, but Bill tightened his grip. It wasn't enough to hurt, but it was enough to prevent them from slipping their hand out of his. It's fine, sweetheart, Bill spoke with a smirk, leaving Your Name a bright red, blushing mess. After the movie ended, the pair almost killed the whole bucket of popcorn despite Bill refusing to let go of Your Name's hand. Both of them exited the movie theater when Your Name realized they forgot their phone at their seat. So they told Bill, I'll be right back, forgot my phone. They didn't wait for him to respond as they rushed back in to grab it. Your Name felt the panic surge through them as they did not see their phone near their seat. But a guy who was cleaning up the row below clearly noticed Your Name's distressed face and said, I take it this is yours? Sure enough, he held up Your Name's phone. Oh my god, yes, thank you, Your Name said, taking it from the guy. No problem. Mind if I have your number? Your Name paled a little at the question. They didn't even know the guy's name, not seeing a name tag on him despite him working here. They did not feel giving this random dude their number. Luckily, the universe decided to bless Your Name with a savior right at that moment. Right there and then, Bill walked over next to Your Name. I think they do mind, buddy, Bill spoke with venom. He appeared out of nowhere, practically. He must have come in when Your Name wasn't paying attention, but for once he didn't mind him sneaking up on them. The guy looked at Bill with a scowl. And who were you to be deciding that for them? Bill came closer to Your Name and put his hand around their waist, pulling them into him. What Bill said next sent chills up Your Name's spine. They're off limits, kiddo. Turn around now before you see something you might regret. The guy was spooked enough by Bill that he sped out of the room without missing a beat. Once he was gone, Bill let out a breath through his nose he didn't know he was holding and turned to Your Name. Are you alright? Yeah, fine. Thanks. Saved my skin there. They tried to laugh the whole thing off, but Bill clearly saw that Your Name was shaken up. He took their hand in his again and entwined his fingers with theirs. The two of them stayed like that for a while when Your Name tried to change the subject. Is this a part of your research? What? Your Name squeezed his hand to specify what they meant. Oh, you could say that, he said as he squeezed back. Are you ready to head back to the mystery shack? Bill smirked and pulled Your Name outside. Not quite. We got one last stop. Eventually, Your Name and Bill were out in the woods, but by this point, it was dark out, and Your Name could hardly see anything in front of them. But Bill stayed ahead of them and assured them that this would all be worth it. After a few more minutes of walking, the pair made it out to a small clearing in the trees. Bill let go of Your Name's hand and made a picnic blanket appear on the ground a few feet ahead of them. He sat down and gestured for Your Name to join him. They did, and Bill pointed up at the sky. Your Name was blown away at what they saw. A meteor shower. You know, they normally say to make a wish when you see a bunch of shooting stars, right, Your Name? Bill asked with a genuine smile. Yeah. They then closed their eyes and made a wish. When they opened their eyes again, they noticed Bill looking at them. What'd you wish for? He asked as if he was really curious. If I tell you, it won't come true. Oh, Your Name, you underestimate me, Bill said confidently. Your Name looked down. I wish that you and I would be friends forever, they said softly. Bill's face immediately turned a bit sad at that. Just friends? He asked seriously. What? Just friends? Bill repeated, looking almost nervous. Your Name blinked, first in confusion, then in realization, then in shock. Bill, are you having a brain freeze or something? They asked with a nervous laugh. No, why? Bill felt a little hurt at that comment. What made Your Name think that? Because there's no way you're serious right now. It's either that or you're pulling my leg. Come on, your name. Even I'm not that cruel. Not anymore. Well, why else would you make me... what else would make you ask me something like that? You? Bill didn't skip a beat in replying. But he knew that your name was going to take the high road in this. Besides, if he was going to be rejected, he might as well go down swinging. I mean, I've only known you for a few months, but I've lived longer than you humans could comprehend, and I have never felt the way I have when I'm with you. The moments we have together are kind of simple, but I like it that way. You make the boring things humans do fun for me, and you've been patient with me while I try and learn about this dimension. I couldn't do all the fun stuff we do with anyone else in this town. You seemed so simple when I first met you, but you're even more strange than I am because of how you put up with me. What more could I ask for in... Bill hesitated in the last words of that thought. In someone I love. Your name struggled to take all this in. They weren't even totally sure if Bill could feel any attraction to someone in this dimension. But the speech he gave seemed very genuine, and it was clear he wasn't joking around at all. Before your name could reply, Bill snapped his fingers and made a small golden necklace appear. There was a single golden triangle charm with the same grooves Bill had on his triangular form hanging from the chain. But instead of his one eye in the center like his demon form, there was a black, heart-shaped diamond. I'm not going to force you into anything you don't want, your name, but if you do feel the same way, I want you to have this, Bill said, holding the necklace out for the taking. Your name didn't even need to ponder the offer. They knew their feelings for Bill. So they took the necklace from him and put it on. Bill released a breath that he, again, didn't know he was holding. I wish for you to return my feelings, he muttered. Your name laughed. You didn't need a wish for that. It's already true. So is your wish. Bill then wrapped an arm around your name, pulling them close to him. Happy Valentine's Day, Bill Cipher, your name said before they leaned up and kissed him. The end. I actually am pretty proud of this fanfic because even though I've never written for Bill before, I'm pretty happy with this actually. I was a little nervous about writing for him because I honestly don't normally write the best for super cocky, confident characters, at least not in my opinion. But I'm actually pretty proud of this one, and I am really happy with how it turned out, and even though it's technically 4 days after Valentine's Day at the time of recording and writing this, but I still think it turned out great, and hopefully this was worth the long wait that all of you had for all the years that you've wanted me to write for Bill. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I'm not totally sure what I'm going to make next, but I'm kind of leaning in favor of a Dipper X-Reader because I came up with a pretty cute, adorable little fanfic idea for him. Not going to say what it is because I want that to be a surprise, because maybe then that'll motivate me to actually make it, but I really hope all of you enjoyed this, and Hannah, thanks again for being really wonderful and being so patient with me. I hope that you enjoyed this, because I enjoyed writing it, and I hope all of you enjoyed listening to it. This is going to be posted on my Tumblr. I may post it on my Wattpad as well, to make it a little bit easier to access. But yeah, thank you all so very much for reading and watching, and I hope all of you had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and yeah, this is Hannah Ryder, and I'll be seeing you all very soon. Bye-bye!